Weather leader. This is meteorologist Jeff Penner.
We live here in Kansas City, eastern Kansas, western Missouri, off to the west. They grow lots of winter wheat, the breadbasket of the world. And from Kansas City eastward through Iowa, Illinois, Indiana, and Ohio, that's the Corn Belt. We are in the middle of the growing season for the corn and the soybeans. July is a corn month. August is where the beans are made. Let's start by looking at the drought monitor because it's temperature and precipitation. That's what depends on how good or bad the corn and soybean crop is. The winter wheat crop, by the way, harvested pretty good crop this year. Let's start at the beginning of the growing season, around the beginning, April 1st. You can see it was pretty good. It was dry out in the plains, but most of the Corn Belt was in pretty good shape, not even abnormally dry in most locations. And then as we go through time, April 15th, it really starts to grow out there in southwest Kansas, the Panhandle. So the winter wheat areas were concerned, but one good drink of water would have helped. Corn Belt, pretty good shape. Planting corn at this time and really looking good. And then as we go through May 14th, 15th to 31st to June 1st, look at that. The plains, no drought, and the winter wheat crop ended up being pretty good. Even in the Corn Belt, we've had plenty of rain, really in good shape. So June 1st, really for corn growing season, starting off very, very good. And then as we go through June, it tried to dry out a little bit there in June. Remember how hot and dry June was? And in July, back to vanishing. Now, every year, you have little patches in the Corn Belt where there could be some dry issues. Not every patch gets hit. Right now, that's southeast Iowa, northeast Missouri, a little part of Michigan and Ohio. But again, these are small areas, and as we go through the next 5 to 6 weeks, they may get some good rain as well. So really looking pretty good so far. Now let's kind of go through the rainfall totals here. We're going to look mostly where we live. It's called the Western Corn Belt, west of the Mississippi River. Kansas City, 7 3/4 of an inch of rain in July, over 5 inches above average for the month. But as you expand out, everywhere's had some decent rain. Des Moines had about 3 inches, a half inch above average. Omaha's had 4 inches. They're about 2 inches above average so far. Grand Island's about 2 1/4 inches, about a half inch above average. Even Dodge City, southwest Kansas, is usually hot and very dry this time of year. Have almost had 5 inches of rain, which is over 3 inches above average for July. So everybody getting some pretty good rain, and it is no surprise as we look at the latest crop condition report. We always look at the good to excellent category and add them up. In Kansas, which is not a huge Corn Belt state, but there's corn there, 57% good, 10% excellent as of the last report, which is a total of 67%. Missouri, big Corn Belt state, 55% good, 16% excellent, 71% good to excellent. Iowa, another big state, 59% good, 20% excellent. That's nearly 80% good to excellent. And Nebraska's a big one too, the Cornhusker state, 80% good to excellent as well. So the Western Corn Belt doing good, and even Illinois, Indiana, and Ohio as well. These are some very high numbers. So this is some really good news. Now, what is needed is continued rain, some heat and humidity mixed in there. And what we're going to have here is a little bit of a pattern change. Let's go through and take a look at what's going to happen, because July, we need the rest of the July to be good to the corn crop. And we've been in this zone of thunderstorm chances. That's why you have the 80% good to excellent ratings. And the upper level high anticyclone heat wave creating machine, called a dome sometimes in the grain industry, is where you get the hot, dry weather. It's been suppressed. Over the next week to 10 days, we're going to see this dome grow in the middle part of the country. And so, yes, the Western Corn Belt here is going to be susceptible to some heat, although there's going to be a couple of fronts as well, especially in Nebraska and Iowa, which will help. Kansas and Missouri are going to get kind of hot, so we're going to have to watch this. But if you notice in the Eastern Corn Belt, there's a little bit of a northwesterly flow, so they're not going to be as hot, and they may still have some thunderstorm chances, but the main jet stream's off to the north. Now, if this were to continue into August, we would have some serious problems in August because of the, we'd have serious problems because you go into soybean season, things really dry out quickly. But it looks like as we go into August, the pattern will reverse and repeat again. As we use Gary's theory of the LRC, and the upper level high will get suppressed. Northwesterly flow, the zone of thunderstorm chances sinks down to the south. The anticyclone shifts off to the south and west, and we'll be back to that. So We've got some more rain chances. We've got a little heat coming in. As long as the heat doesn't get too crazy, it might get a little hot out there in central Kansas, but if it's only for 3 or 4 days, it's not a big deal. And then we got more rain chances. So our outlook here as we go into August is going to be, as we look at the anticyclone move away, we're looking at August here being average to above average rainfall, average to above average temperatures for much of the Corn Belt. So some good news. Hopefully we can finish off the corn here in pretty good shape and the heat won't be too bad and mainly be restricted to the further to the west in the Corn Belt. And then the soybeans can take off as we go into August with more rain chances. So we're looking for a good crop this year. Let's hope that continues. Have a great week.